What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. Give you a quick overview of some of the data points, break it down what moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi went up 2.6% today, 12.80 for the low, 13.49 the high. So absolute crazy day. What a up, down, sideways, loop-de-loop roller coaster. I saw this post. It is kind of comical. So we do have a bull run, bear run, then the damn kangaroo. So I feel like a lot of people do not like this kangaroo type of style, just up 5%, down 5% the next day. It's like all over the place. So when it comes down to it, there was a lot of big things that did come out that moved the market. So starting off in the pre-market, you did have ADP employment change, actual 77,000, consensus 140. That wasn't good whatsoever. So that kind of set the trajectory for the market open, which obviously did pull back. Then you also did have ISM services, which came in better than anticipated. So 53.5, better than the forecast of 52.7 for that. So pretty good stuff. Again, similarly, this is for services. Anything above 50 does show more of an expansion occurring. So very good data, a lot better than Monday's manufacturing data. So again, that's kind of a good thing. But there was also this, so the whole tariffs associated to autos, I believe that was supposed to commence on March the 12th, if I remember correctly. But regardless, it did get pushed back 1 month. A lot of OEMs ran up significantly because of that. And then you also had this right here. So you have potential peace in Ukraine. I think there's going to be more to come from that over the next week. And then finally, you had the market trying to really digest potentially 3 rate cuts. So yeah, it's definitely an interesting day overall, but no news from SoFi itself today, no SEC filings. So it was kind of just at the pretty much mercy of the broader market, which was kind of a good thing. Shorts did return 82,000 shares today. 12.35% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 133.08 million shares overall being shorted. Cost to borrow average is back to being negative. So clearly whoever is doing that was maybe anticipating just the broader market to sell off SoFi. That way they didn't have to pay anyone. The market would bring it down itself. So it didn't really work according to whatever broker does that, but it's kind of just now whatever it is what it is. One disappointing thing that did come out associated to SoFi, it's more linked to, as what I've always called, it's just SoFi is playing it very safe in the broader market, staying within their box. But the list right here of the attendees participating in that crypto conference on March the 7th. Unfortunately, SoFi isn't there. Robinhood CEO is participating in that. So it would have been nice if Anthony or Chris would have joined, but I guess they didn't get an invite, or maybe they just didn't even pursue that. I'm not really sure. But as far as options today, 9.98 million in calls, 6.67 in puts. 51% of all the options being done today were optimistic in nature. A little bit lower than the dollar value yesterday, but I think yesterday was just massively, a lot of people did feel like obviously the bottom was in, and this is why over the last 2 days I did buy. But 62.3 million for total premiums yesterday, 16.6 today. So again, it is what it is, nothing really overly crazy for that. And then based on the call options that were purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above that 14 to 14.50 for this week. So clearly a little bit more of a continued push higher. And then looking at the bears, they are anticipating for it to be sub roughly 12.50 for the most part, /12. So even they're turning a little bit more optimistic. So again, that's kind of a good thing, because at the beginning of the week, they were anticipating for it to be around $11. So again, that's kind of a overall pretty positive if you ask me. These are all the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. Big money was getting in, so 1.4 million, 2.4, 12.4. Then throughout the day, a lot of big buying. Similarly, even on the dark pool, so a lot of big transactions for that. So these are all the dark pool transactions. No secretly abnormally large transactions on here, so no BlackRock or whatever institutional hedge fund buys. So it was more so just a smaller fish, if that kind of makes sense. But as far as right now, with it closing at 13.43, trading between this S1 and this S2, so 12.72 is going to be that strong support. if everything goes according to plan, I don't see that being touched tomorrow. So as far as data points for tomorrow, we have just the typical stuff. So exports, imports, initial jobless claims, and a couple of Fed speakers in the afternoon. Big data is coming out Friday though. But as far as tomorrow, I don't see this S2 being touched. Flip side, 13.59 will be a key target / resistance, followed by $15. So SoFi is actually not down and out. It can easily get back into and trading within that set range, so that $13 to $17 range. On the actual chart itself though, it is still below a lot of the key points that generally you like to look at. So below that 100-day moving average, and that was a big key pivot for SoFi recently. So that is sitting at 14.26, and then aside from that, you have the ALMA sitting at 13.74. So right now it's kind of just stuck within this range. So let me know your general thoughts on SoFi. Have you been buying? Have you been selling? What have you been doing with SoFi? I did a couple bullish options with SoFi. Just I believe it was January 2026. $15 strike prices. So at least, of course, I feel like it could go a lot higher than that, but just to play it safe, I feel like $15. So I did 2 of those, nothing overly crazy, but yeah, I feel like it's been a while since, like, during this whole run up here, I did a couple options here and there, but for the most part, like, I was just watching and enjoying the ride. Recently, I did buy in twice, and now I'm starting to do bullish options because honestly, at these prices like this, I'm actually putting my money where my mouth is. I know when it was like 18, a lot of people were like, hey, I cannot wait till it gets to 13 again. I'm going to just buy every available share out there. Well, I don't know if those individuals are, but I definitely do see a lot of value in SoFi at these levels. So let me know your general thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And what's your general thoughts, for instance, on a lot of the points that I did bring up? So for instance, peace in Ukraine. Do you think that's going to come in this week? Do you think that there's going to be 3 rate cuts? Keep in mind the Feds a couple months ago did state that there's going to be pretty much, they insinuated 1. But do you think that there's going to be 3? I remember this did happen similarly in 2024. So the market, I believe, was expecting 5, if I remember correctly, at the beginning. And then as soon as the year passed or went through part way through the year, then I feel like the market gets disappointed by this because they start to price in 3 cuts. And then later in the year, like, goes down to 2 and then down to 1. So I don't know. Do you think that this is good, feasible, or no? And then one final thing, pop over to my Discord. It is completely free. Link in the description below and also the comments. A lot of good people, a lot of good chat talking about stocks, options, crypto, everything. So with all that said, appreciate all of you watching.